Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Unarmored Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Mario P. Feels good to, if you guys watch me again on YouTube, as always, I wish I could see you guys, but hopefully it's good for you to see me. And of course, if you're on audio, again, another amazing episode, another guest who's willing to remove their armor to help people develop a accurate way of thinking. If life happens, which you know it will, and it will be potentially emotional, but at least you can think through things, develop that strategy, and help people. Dean Wegner, what's going on, my friend?
Well, Mario, so great to see you. I can see you, and you and I have gotten to know each other quite well after just a few short calls, and looking forward to digging a little bit deeper and having a great discussion.
Same here, Dean. What you guys don't know is some of you guys follow me on social media. Is when Snoopy, our amazing dog that we had almost 16 years, passed away. Dean's lovely puppy named Snickers had passed away right before where they had to, we had to make a decision. And so, believe it or not, when we're doing our discovery phase, Dean actually helped me and Nicole get through the loss of our fur baby. So, Dean, again, thank you so much in having that kind of
Absolutely.
unfortunate but shared experience at that moment, my friend.
Well, fantastic. Let's dig in and looking forward to it, Mario.
Yeah, let's get into it. So you guys know the deal. Before we get into our wonderful guests and I get to the professional part, again, I want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A lot of times we take things for granted. I can only speak for me, but to be able to wake up and breathe and just be able to see and have the functions of faculty working where we could come on this podcast, develop a discussion framework as two living human beings, it's always a blessing. So I will
Amen.
never take it for granted everyone who's been supporting this podcast for almost 3 years, about 3 years now.
Wow.
Thank you, thank you, and thank you. So now here we go. We have Dean Wegner. He is a veteran. He is the founder of Authentically American. He does a lot more, but I'm going to allow him to tell you guys a little bit about himself so we can get into this discussion. Dean, over to you, my friend.
All right, Mario. Well, I always love to share a little bit personally about me up front, so that way anyone's tuning in knows who I am and a little bit about me personally. And I tell everybody I'm a veteran and an entrepreneur, but priorities for me align with God, family, and country.
Amen.
That is ultimately what's important, and it starts with my Christian faith. And just 4 days ago, Mario, my amazing wife Kelly and I celebrated 29 years. 29 years. So I'm a lot to
Um,
put up with. So I'm thankful for an amazing wife, and we've got four incredible kids. We have two daughters, 25 and 22. We have a 19-year-old son and a 13-year-old son we adopted from Ethiopia. So family is incredibly important to me. And from a country standpoint, had the privilege of attending and was very fortunate to graduate from the United States Military Academy at West Point. Went to flight school, learned how to fly helicopters, and then had a unique opportunity after flight school. Went to the Army Special Forces Ranger School and served 7 years active duty. So that's a little bit of a background on me before we dig into Authentically American.
Dean, thank and congratulations. 29 years of the commanding general of the Wegner family putting up with.
We salute, yes.
Oh my goodness, and the wonderful kids and family and just your focus. I get it too. So you've done a lot of things in your life. They were choices to not only what I believe is America's most precious jewel called freedom, and you chose to
Amen.
protect it. But then you got out, and now you're doing even more through your entrepreneurship and your business owner and business mindset. Let's talk about what that is.
So, Mario, one of the things that really drives me is this insatiable desire to know that I'm making a difference. And that's really at the heart of what Authentically American is all about. We're an apparel brand. We've got amazing product, but it's all made here in the US. And to give you an
Nice.
idea how rare American made is, when I graduated from West Point in 93, over 50% was made in the US. Today it's
Wait a minute. Wait a
3%
minute.
is all that's made here.
So in 93 it was about 50% of things made in America,
All
and now it's
apparel
about,
purchased in the US, and now
yeah.
3%.
Wow.
And Mario, it is a shocking statistic, and that statistic gave birth to our tagline, "Where's yours made?" And it's designed to be provocative, like, "Hey, Mario, great looking polo. Where's yours made?"
Right. Right.
Most people look at me like, "Dean, I have no idea." and they're shocked when they look at the tag and see made in China, made in Vietnam. And the heart of our mission is our passion for creating American jobs. We just happen to be in the apparel business.
Right. Yeah, and so what when you started this vision, when this vision, your founder, when this vision popped in your brain and you conceptualized it and made it become reality, was there any times where you're like, am I doing the right thing or what is right thing?
I will tell you, Mario, in July, we celebrated 6 years, and in 2017, we're a blank sheet of paper. And
Oh,
was very clear on the vision, to build this iconic American brand with the same brand recognition. Think of a Nike, Polo, Under Armour, North Face brand like that, but all American made. And I have to tell you, I'm exhausted. I mean, it is the most challenging, most difficult thing I've ever done. I've been having flashbacks to Ranger School, but I will tell you, as exhausted as I am, even more energized because truly feel like I have an opportunity to make a difference. And it's been challenging. There's been, incredible amount of minefields we've had to navigate through, but things are really starting to take it off. And there's just a number of lessons learned on that journey. But I'm excited. But there have been many, many points on that journey to your question, like, what was I doing? Did I
yeah,
do that
yeah.
right? Did I do it not right? But God's been faithful to provide, and we are really starting to take off now.
And it's amazing too, just my belief when you got that spiritual foundation and you allow the chairman, right, God to lead
Amen.
you and not yourself. And so here it is, again, 2017, blank piece of paper. You had the ups and downs. Um, if you could think of one thing that you are emotional about, but you thought, right, you said, but let me research and strategize and think through this. What did you do? Can you talk to me about that thinking process?
Well, let me tell you one thing that's been a big surprise and has really changed our whole business philosophy and our whole approach. Because back to that 3% number, I thought everyone was like you. I thought everyone was like me, like most of your listeners, or those who are tuning into the podcast, where they're patriotic, they love our country. I'm sure many
Mm,
of them are veterans, first responders, and the thinking was, Mario, everybody is just going to love our brand just because the fact that it's American made. You know what I found out is most people don't know, but there's a large percentage who just don't care. They
wow.
just don't care. And initially I was upset. I'm like, how can you not, care about that? And the
Right.
old philosophy used to be that we're going to be all things to all people. I thought, well, Mario woke up today and put a shirt on. So did his neighbor right next to him. So did that guy down the street. Unless you live in a nudist colony, I mean, everybody makes a choice. And thought was, well, isn't this wonderful? Apparel is a massive $300 billion industry. And I thought, we can literally almost touch everybody. But I've got to tell you, one of the shortcomings, one of my failures was that lack of focus was not successful. And
Yeah.
what we really did is, transform from all things to all people to my new mantra, Mario, is the riches are in the niches. And we're laser focused on who that target customer is. And you're a reflection of that. You're a veteran, you're a business owner. And what we found is although most people don't care where their shirt on their back is made, generally speaking, the veteran does. So our focus is on the veteran, specifically
Right.
veteran-owned businesses and veteran-focused charities. So instead of a Nike, a Gildan, shirt with your company logo on it that's made in China, you now have an opportunity to partner with Authentically American. And I will tell you, that has made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, no, Dean, and I love how you had this vision, this belief that, like you said, I believe that everyone's going to want this. I mean, this is
Yeah.
not. This is going to be a wonderful discussion at the local coffee shop. Come on, and then you found not everybody cares.
Mhm.
So I love how you thought through that. Where again, here you could have chose to say, you know what, Mario, I think I'm gonna try something different, or I think I'm gonna go a different way. And here you thought through that and researched it, and then really narrowed down your target audience, if you're your customer, if you will. And I love it. I love it. Now, as you started to really focus on folks like myself and other people who do care, I mean, I care. Matter of fact, interviewing you is going to make me be more intentional.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, what has been the results now that you've kind of refocused and narrowed down your approach?
Well, let me share with you some numbers, and this will put in perspective how impactful that focus is and that mantra of the riches are in the niches. Because initially, when I thought about veteran, I thought, well, that is too small. When you think only 1% have served and a much smaller percent of that own a business, I thought, that's too small of a focus. But when I did my due diligence and we as a team looked at, how big that market is, the numbers are astounding. There's 400,000 veteran-owned businesses with 10 or more employees.
Wow.
There's 40,000 veteran-focused charities, and we work with hundreds of both, but in essence, we're touching 1% of the market. Our target customer, we're really reaching 1%. So think of the upside. So now anything outbound, anything that we're doing from a marketing, event related, anything across the board, we're making an investment in time and energy. It's focused on the veteran community.
Wow. That is amazing. And I didn't even know it was a 300, we'd say $300 billion industry.
300 billion. It's astounding.
Gosh,
So
that,
we only need a
yeah.
small little market share to have a large successful brand.
What they say, have the faith as small as the mustard seed. and,
Amen.
and you guys are looking at Dean, who had faith as small as the mustard seed, and look where we are today. And I would tell you, Dean, again, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, of course, we're recording this one before we produce it, but this is so important. And what Dean is doing is passion for veterans, his passion for creating jobs in America, and his passion for awareness. Dean, just so you know, I'm going to release this on Veterans Day.
Oh, wow.
I am. So
Love
everyone,
that. Thank
even
you.
though we're recording this before Veterans Day, we're going to say it. I'm going to say Happy Veterans Day to everybody. Dean, you've inspired me, motivated me so much. I'm going to release this episode on Veterans Day.
Well, Mario, I love that. And your timing is impeccable because, prior to, launching Authentically American, I worked at big companies and big brands, Procter and Gamble and Mars, for example, brands like Crest and Tide and M&Ms. And we literally had Super Bowl ad budgets, Super Bowl ad budgets. So multi-million dollars. And my marketing budget being self-funded is about this big. But one thing that we do have is this feel-good American story. We're creating American jobs. We're veteran-owned. We're American-made. And we've been blessed with some incredible earned media, some national TV exposure. We've been on Fox and Friends. Just last week, we're on MSNBC. And it's interesting, the timing on November 11th, because the day prior, knock on wood, saying my prayers, hopefully it holds true, we will be on Good Morning America.
That will be so cool. I tell you. And if not, no, I mean, Dean, I've watched some of your interviews, your most recent one, and I'm proud of you, your team, your executive director. One more, because I know you're having fun, and I want to ask one more question as we discuss, and this is just awesome. Reflecting back on all of your training, including when you went to special forces, you became a pilot. If you could pick one or two soft skills or skills that you learned that really was transferable when you started Authentically American, and especially dealing with the pandemic and other external factors.
Well, here's where I will tie back to Ranger School. And, those who are not familiar, Ranger School, it is a military doctrine. There's a lot of that in the course, but ultimately it's a leadership course. And what they do, Mario, they deprive you of everything you need, everything you think you need to survive, namely food and sleep,
Yeah.
and then put you in incredibly stressful situations. So on day one, there were 340 of us. And if you make it straight through for 72 days in a row, you live on one meal a day and 2 to 3 hours sleep a night.
Wow.
One meal a day and 2 to 3 hours sleep a night. And at the end of that 72 days, we lost 80%, and there were only 70 of us left. And being a flight suit wearing aviator, there was no reason for me to be there. And, Army Special Forces Ranger School. But one of the reasons I was able to make it straight through, one was the sheer grace of God, but the second one was my Ranger buddy. And back then it was Marine Corps Infantry Sergeant Roy Backey. So, right in your, family, being the Marine Corps. But what the lesson taught me, Mario, is life is hard. Life can be challenging, and don't do it alone. If there's something you're going to do that's incredibly challenging, that's going to be incredibly difficult, find that ranger buddy, find that business partner, find that spouse. And I'm an entrepreneur now, and I believe that business is the ultimate team sport. Even if you're a sole proprietor, you have to have a banker, you have to have an attorney, you have to have, a CPA. So you've got all these members of your team, that are going to enable you to be successful. And that's one of the soft lessons I learned, that, invest in relationships and, don't go it alone. Life is hard.
Yeah, thanks, Dean, so much. You guys heard it from Dean. There's many choices you can make while living, but choose to do it with the team, and don't make that choice to do it alone. Dean, how can the listeners and viewers find you, my friend? How can they go on your store, your website, and purchase some of your apparel?
So the best way, Mario, is go to our website, authenticallyamerican.us, authenticallyamerican.us, and that .us was an intentional choice given the equity of our brand. So
Yeah.
if you remember, I told you a little bit about our sweat activated print innovation. I'll do you a quick demo. So
Oh yeah.
this is me being an Army grad, a West Point grad. So printed, it says "Go Army," but watch what happens when I spray this. You can see "Beat Navy" magically appears, and I love the look on your face, Mario. So the reason why, if you want to buy one of our individual consumer items, whether it's West Point, Naval Academy, Air Force, VMI Citadel, or something like I'm wearing that's Authentically American branded, you as an individual can go to our website. If you're tuning in, you say, "Well, Dean, I've got a business and I want American made. I thought I was resigned to Nike or Land's End, something that's made in China." You can also have a contact with us there. If you're leading a charity, that's also the best way to go. And the only thing I would highlight from a charity standpoint, we have two pricing tiers. So if you're a Pepsi, Comcast, for-profit business partner of ours, you're paying full price. If you're a charity, a nonprofit doing amazing work, we're going to give it to you at cost. And that difference between the Mario allows our clients who are nonprofits to build their brand and raise some money in the process. So authenticallyamerican.us is the best place to go, whether you're an individual consumer, a business, or a charity.
Dean, thank you. We will be talking subsequently after this episode. But you guys heard it, authenticallyamerican.us. Again, I love that Army. Kind of get some sweat going. Beat Navy. That was cool. And you guys heard from Dean Wegner. I truly appreciate you. Please tell your family we said hello. And thank you again for appearing on the show, Dean. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Honored to be a guest and thankful to have a new friend, Mario.
Absolute same here. Well, everyone, you guys know the deal. In a couple of weeks, we'll see you with another amazing episode with another guest who's willing to remove their armor to help people. But until then, God bless you. God bless your family and your friends. Be safe out there. We'll see you.